Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another exciting session on Unacademy Catalyst. Today's session is all gonna be about IIM Kozhikode. Its admission process this year, the weightages they are giving for different parameters for the coming academic year, the placements, and all about IIM Kozhikode, any query that you might have. So, like always, the first thing I tell you is give me 10 seconds to make sure that I'm streaming live before we start the session. Okay, I think we are streaming live and I think we can get started. So good morning again, and my name is Parikshit. I am your Quants and LRDI expert on the Unacademy platform. So today's session will be on IIM Kozhikode. Okay. Now before we get started, right, the first thing I want to tell you is about what we offer on Unacademy Plus. 30 seconds before we get started. Okay. On Unacademy Plus, we provide a complete coverage of A to Z of your CAT quants, verbal as well as DILR. This is a snapshot of all the courses that we have taken on Unacademy Plus, that I have taken personally on Unacademy Plus till date. Now, to probably most of you might want to see the quality of teaching. For that, I would strongly recommend that you go to the Unacademy platform, view some of the free classes, the special classes, and you get to know the quality. And for A to Z of your CAT, Quants and DILR preparation for CAT 2021 as well as for CAT 2022, you can subscribe to Plus for over 250 hours of complete course, nearly 200 hours of Quants and 65 plus hours of DILR. This is for recorded. Now, if you want to join live, obviously live sessions are also happening. So it's up to you. You have an option of joining live or viewing the recordings. In case you decide to join Unacademy Plus, make sure you use this discount code Parikshit Saikya because you get 10% off on the subscription fee. Okay. Let's get started with today's session. So in today's session, I'm going to talk about IIM Kozhikode, the selection criteria, the first cutoff list criteria, the final cutoff list criteria, the weightages, the average packages, the fees, the tie-ups it has with other international institutes for exchange programs, and all queries that you might have regarding the college. So first thing first, a major change that IIM Kozhikode has introduced from this year is in its selection criteria. So previously, the year before this, right, 2019 and even the year before this, they had the WAT. So what is the WAT? It is the written ability test. So basically, they give you a topic and they ask you to write on a topic. You can imagine it to be like an essay. But from the coming academic year for 2021 onwards, right, they have scrapped the WAT. So from now on, it is only be on your CAT score as well as a personal interview. So your CAT 2020 score as well as personal interview will decide the final score for IIM Kozhikode. That's the first change. Okay. Now, if you look at the cutoffs that the IIM has come out for the coming academic year, so for 2021-2023, right, this is what you are targeting. These are the cutoffs that they have mentioned for the different categories. Okay, so for CAT 2020, you need to have a minimum of 85 percentile for the general category. Okay, what about the sectional percentiles? Every section you need to have minimum 75 percentile. Your 10th 60% and your 12th 60%. Similarly, if let's take another example. If you are an SC/ST, what is your CAT 2020 percentile? Should be minimum 60 percentile. Okay, the CAT that you are going to write. Sectional cutoff is 55. DILR, quants and verbal. Every section you need to score minimum 55. Similarly, 10 score and 12 score is 55%. Now, please be careful. Some of you might be thinking, okay, let's say I get 90 percentile in every section and an overall 90 percentile. Does it mean I will get a call from IIM Kozhikode? Not necessarily. The cutoffs only mean that you can never get a call if you fall below these numbers, if you fall below these numbers. But does it mean that if you score exactly these, or let's say a 90 percentile everywhere? No. So hence a special note has been mentioned here. The above mentioned percentiles are qualifying cutoffs. So they are the minimum score. But if you get this, doesn't mean that you will get a call. Okay, doesn't mean. So it will all depend on how many students who are writing the CAT this year have fulfilled these specific criteria. So out of all the students, they will shortlist the selected few. So it still means that you need to have a higher CAT percentile touching around 98, 99 percentile if you belong to the general category. I hope I'm making sense. Any queries, you can post it in the comments and I'll be glad to answer them. Next is, that's regarding your qualifying marks, okay? Minimum marks to get a call from IIM Kozhikode. The moment you satisfy this minimum criteria of CAT, every section, your 10 as well as your 12, what would happen? The PI component comes into the picture. So what is the PI shortlisting criteria? The personal interview shortlisting criteria. So when IIM Kozhikode, right, is preparing the interview call list, it for this academic year, I mean for the upcoming academic year, 45% weightage is on your CAT score. 25% weightage will be on your class 10 score. So when I say weightages, it would mean, let's say someone is scoring 95+% in 10. He would get full marks in the 25% weightage. If you get, let's say 85 to 95, probably you'll get some other weightage, a second highest weightage, and so on. Similarly, your class 12 score will carry 15% weightage for the upcoming calendar year. Gender and academic diversity. What does it mean? Gender diversity. It means if you are a female, okay, and if you are a non-engineer, academic diversity means non-engineer. So if you are a female or a non-engineer, you get some extra weightages. So 5% each comes out to be 10%. Let's say you are a female and a BCom graduate. You get all these 10 points, all the 10 points. Work experience will carry 5%. So the summation of this will come out to be 100%. So we looked at two things till now. First, we looked at the admission process, interviews plus your CAT score. Second, we looked at the qualifying marks needed and the PI shortlisting criteria. Okay, any questions till this point? Any questions, anyone, till this point? Okay, let's look at the next details. Let's look at the other details. Okay. Now we talked about the PI shortlisting criteria, right? The interview. Now what about the final selection? The final selection is based on three factors. So if you see, the final selection in IIM Kozhikode is determined by three factors. Your CAT score will carry 44% weightage in the final selection in IIM Kozhikode. Your interview performance will carry 44% weightage, and the remaining 12% is on your resume. So when I say resume, basically probably your achievements. Let's say you are a state level player, your extracurricular activities. Let's say you are a IIIA national level position you hold. Probably you are the president of IIIA chapter India. These are the points in the resume which would carry brownie points, extra points. Or probably you are a state level basketball player. So extra points based on what you have written in the resume. If there are outstanding achievements, you get more weightage based on your resume being distinct from the crowd. Next, IIM Kozhikode course fee. Okay, now this is something very important because a lot of you will also look at the course fee of the different IIMs before deciding to choose one of them, right? Okay. Now for IIM Kozhikode, the total fees, okay, for both the years, is 19 lakhs. Yeah, Vivek, go ahead, please ask your question, Vivek. Is 19 lakhs for 2 years together for 2 years together. Now, why do I mention PGP? Because they offer different specializations. There are leadership programs, there are executive MBAs. So there the fees is different. But for their flagship PGP program, right, which a lot of you are targeting via the CAT, the fees is 19 lakhs per annum. Next, what is the total intake of IIM Kozhikode? The total intake is 480 students. If someone has a question, you can obviously ask. Okay. Now, IIM Kozhikode has one caveat to this 480. The caveat is if someone has the equal rank in the final merit list. Example, let's say my rank is 75 and your rank is also 75. Okay. There are more than one people on the same rank because their scores are same, right? In that case, this 480 might be increased by a few notches up. Okay. So how many notches? If you look at the last year, 2020-22 batch, I mean the students who just got last year admission in IIM Kozhikode, there were a total of 492 students. So out of 480, they increased the number by 12 because some students had equal ranks and 256 were women students. This is an amazing ratio, right? This is an amazing ratio. More than 50% are women in IIM Kozhikode. So they have an amazing diversity factor, right, when it comes to gender. Next, and probably this might be of interest to some of you, they have 76 full-time faculty members. Now, there are often students who also are interested about international exchange programs. Okay. Now, IIM Kozhikode has tied up with a lot of international institutes. So leading management institutes across the world. So you look at the European countries, European Union countries, or the Asian countries, So you have the University of Wellington, you have Copenhagen Business School, you have the business schools in France, and a lot of other business schools. I'm not getting into the names. Probably you can read them yourself. But what is important here to note is it included in the 19 lakhs fees? No. Is it included in the 19 lakh fees? No. If you want to opt for these international exchange programs, A, you need to pay extra. Okay, for that specific tri-semester, or let's say 3 months or 6 months, whatever the duration. A. B, they also have a fixed number. Let's say every year, at most 100 institute students can go. Why? Because let's say the tie-up with the foreign institute allows only, let's say, 100 students. So if there are more than 100 students applying, what would happen? There would be a shortlisting criteria. There would be a filter done. What is the filter? The filter is generally based on your score. You're based on your score, not the CAT score, but your score in the college. So let's say first semester you have already appeared, you have got some marks, or probably they will apply some filter and a fixed number of students go abroad for international exchange programs every year from IIM Kozhikode. Okay. The next thing is something most of you look at, the placement figures. Right? Now, this is something very important for a lot of you. Let's look at the placement figures for the last batch. Okay. Now, before you look at the placement figures, it's obviously important to understand what kind of profiles do the batch have. Only then you look at the placement figures in isolation, right? They make absolute no sense. Look at the quality of the batch and then look at the placement figures. Because let's say the batch has an average, as an example, the batch has an average experience of 4 years and the placement package is 30 lakhs. But I am a fresher. So obviously you'll not expect 30 lakhs. So obviously you'll need to look at the profile of the batch before looking on the placement data. Now look at the batch of 2018-2020, the profile. Okay. Now you see an overwhelming 87% are from engineering background. No wonder they give 10% weightage to diversity. If you're a non-engineer, okay, and as a female, non-engineer or a female, you get bonus points. Why? Because there are so many engineers, they give extra brownie points if you are a non-engineer. What about other streams? 8% of the crowd is from commerce background. 3% is from science background. 1% is from arts background, and another 1% is from others. So doesn't belong in the above 4 category. Okay. Now among all these students, there were 58 students from the IITs. Okay. Now why do they call out separately? Because probably at times the IITians often end up with a higher package. Aditya, I'll answer your question. Let me just finish this and then I will come back to your question. Okay. Then 89 is from NITs. 11 are from BITs. And then professional international charters. So 17 of them have highest qualification in terms of international charters. So CFA, FRM, these are highest standards of finance, okay, courses. And then chartered accountants. So total of 17 of them. And then 6 of them are from Sriram College of Commerce or Loyola School, right, from Delhi. Okay. Now in the placement, if you look at the average work experience, 25 months was the average work experience. So you can say around 2 years was the average work experience of the batch. And then if you look at the diversity in work experience, pre-MBA work experience, analytics was the major part. Analytics. Now this is a growing area. 40% of the batch who got into IIM Kozhikode had analytics experience prior to their MBA. That is the major number. So the remaining figures you can read it up, right? Okay. Now let's look at their placement numbers. So a total of 413 students participated in the placement. There was an increase of over 20% in the number of companies that visited the campus in 2020 compared to the previous year. So the entire placement process gets over in 5 days. So compared to IIM standard, this is actually a big number. So if you look at other colleges, it often gets over in 3 days or 2 days. And the median CTC for 2020 batch was nearly 21 lakhs. 21 lakhs. What about the mean? The average was 23.8 lakhs. Okay. The highest CTC offered was 58 lakhs. And how many international job offers were there? 5 of them. 5 of them. Right? So if you want to read more about their recruiters, you can always go back to their website. But I've also listed out their major recruiters: Deloitte, Accenture Consulting, Fidelity, Credit Suisse, KPMG, McKinsey. So these are probably the dream companies for most of you. Right? Okay. And there's also a note here comparing their placement process compared to the previous year. Okay. Now let's take up the questions. Sashikant is asking what criteria to join IIM Kozhikode. Sashikant, when you say criteria, right, you need to clear the cutoffs in the CAT. You need to clear the cutoff in the CAT. Now, what is the cutoff in the CAT? The cutoff in the CAT vary every year. Okay, it will generally hover around the higher part of the 90. 97, 98, something like that. 97, 98. It would depend on a lot of factors. Let's say I come from an OBC background, then your cutoffs will be low. But yeah, you need to clear the cutoff in the CAT. That's the first criteria to get a call from IIM Kozhikode. Do I answer your point, Sashikant? Anyone else? Aditya is asking PGP finance program. Aditya, the PGP finance program in IIM Kozhikode is considered to be one of the best in the country. Anything else? Akash, what is your question? Okay. Anything else that you wish to ask before? So, anything else that you all wish to ask? Anything? So, I'll just show you the criteria once again. So, this is the admission criteria. Okay. So, they have a lot of factors, the weightages, your class 10 score, your 12 score. So, there are a lot of weightages. So overall, you need to clear the cutoff. Overall, you need to clear the cutoff. But one thing you should look at it, this is the only number that you can change, your CAT score. The remaining numbers are history. You already have given your 10, 12. You probably cannot change your gender, right? Your academic graduation, if you're an engineer, you are an engineer, you cannot change that. And whatever is your work experience will continue to be that, right? So the only number that you need to concentrate is on this, and you need to try to maximize your CAT score. The remaining, you cannot do anything. Aditya, yes, it's a separate program from the normal PGP. You are correct. It's a separate program from the normal PGP course. Yes. So PGP in finance is separate from the normal PGP course. Okay, I think that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the session. In case you want to view me live, view all my sessions live, you can always go to the Unacademy platform. There are a lot of free classes. And in case you want to join Unacademy Plus for a complete preparation for your CAT 2021 or 2022, you can use my referral code Parikshit Saikya to join Unacademy and get a 10% discount. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed the session, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. for another session of mine. Goodbye and take care.